Generations of older adults have embraced the notion that eggs represent the pinnacle of protein nourishment. This understanding feels familiar, provides comfort, yet remains fundamentally limited. Today, I encourage you to question that long-held conviction. Picture this scenario: a single food item, modest and unassuming, yet harboring more than 5 times the protein concentration found in eggs. Furthermore, this is not even the most remarkable option available. At the summit of our exploration today awaits something considerably more extraordinary. So remarkable that researchers are currently investigating it as a method to combat muscle deterioration in individuals recovering from stroke complications. An egg provides approximately 13 grams of protein per 100 grams. However, the sources we will examine throughout this exploration ascend far beyond this baseline, approaching 60 grams. These are not manufactured supplements or artificial powders. They are authentic foods frequently concealed in plain view, awaiting recognition. Nevertheless, 99 out of 100 elderly individuals remain completely unaware of their presence. Silently, following the age of 60, muscle mass begins to diminish, not with obvious signs, but with remarkable subtlety. We move more cautiously, stand more deliberately, and occasionally fall without any forewarning. The human body whispers its concerns before experiencing breakdown. During this moment we share, I will reveal 10 foods arranged from the common to the remarkable that exceed eggs in protein concentration. However, this is not merely a catalog. It serves as a roadmap for your body to rediscover what vitality truly means. The food positioned at number 1 cannot be found where you would anticipate. It exists on the periphery of consciousness in the neglected sections of your neighborhood market. Nevertheless, its potential is absolutely undeniable. Everything discussed here is founded upon genuine, peer-reviewed research. The evidence is not simply encouraging, it is scientifically validated. Let us commence this thoughtful journey of nourishment, vitality, and renewal. We begin immediately with food number 10. It conceals itself in the open, yet its power remains unseen by most. Number 10 is modest, unassuming, and yet it contains more vitality than most people realize. I am referring to Greek yogurt, specifically the non-fat, triple-strained variety. Many have learned it promotes health. However, what most elderly individuals do not understand is the amount of pure nutrition it provides. More than 10 grams of protein per 100 grams. That represents nearly twice the protein of a boiled egg, with significantly less fat. It is not bold in taste, nor spectacular in appearance, but it functions profoundly, silently, like all genuine sources of restoration. What creates its effectiveness is the methodology. This yogurt undergoes straining 3 times, eliminating much of the liquid whey and lactose. What persists is a dense, creamy consistency, abundant in protein and gentle on the system. In a 2020 clinical analysis published in Nutrients, older adults who consumed just 20 grams of dairy-based protein daily experienced a 25% enhancement in muscle preservation over 12 weeks, particularly when combined with walking, movement, and nutrition functioning as one unified approach. Greek yogurt is also among the most easily digestible proteins for aging systems. Even those with mild lactose sensitivity often manage it successfully. However, select carefully. Avoid the sweetened options. Instead, choose the plain non-fat version. Add a spoonful of ground flaxseed or a handful of fresh berries. Foods that nourish not only the physical body, but the spirit as well. It is also adaptable. You can incorporate it into a smoothie, combine it into a dip, or utilize it as a foundation for dressings. This simple bowl contains more than just nutrients. It contains a pathway, a daily practice for reconstructing what time has removed. Now we advance to a food long overlooked yet resting peacefully in your pantry, awaiting recognition once more. Number 9 is humble, almost invisible to the observer who does not examine carefully. Chickpeas prepared soft and unpretentious, yet within each small portion lies more than sustenance. There is quiet power. Per 100 grams, chickpeas provide 11.2 grams of protein. This exceeds the egg in its contribution to muscle maintenance. However, chickpeas accomplish more than simply nourish muscle. They support the entire system that encompasses it. Where eggs deliver protein, chickpeas add fiber, something many older bodies quietly require. Fiber stabilizes blood sugar, facilitates digestion, and reduces the slow-burning inflammation that compromises the body over time. These are not insignificant effects. They are fundamental. A study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition discovered that older adults who substituted animal-based protein with legumes like chickpeas reduced their rate of age-related muscle loss by up to 26%. Why? Because the body responded not just to the protein, but to the complete experience of nourishment, less inflammation, improved gut flora, and more efficient recovery. Chickpeas also contain magnesium, a mineral often absent in later years. Magnesium supports muscle contraction and relaxation, two aspects of the same rhythm. Without it, strength diminishes, not with drama, but with fatigue and slow recovery. To unlock their complete benefit, I soak chickpeas overnight. This softens their structure and awakens their nutrients, making them gentler on digestion. Then they are prepared to serve. You can mash them into hummus with olive oil and garlic, earthy, smooth, vibrant, or roast them until golden, a crisp offering of protein and texture. Stir them gentle. Into stews, where they absorb warmth and flavor. Chickpeas do not demand attention, but they reward consistency. Their taste is subtle, their power profound. They remind us that strength often comes in quiet forms, not from what demands notice, but from what endures. Now we proceed. Ahead lies a seed, tiny, easily overlooked, yet with even greater density of protein in every bite. Let us examine more closely. Number 8 is frequently misunderstood. Some view it as a fad. Others dismiss it as just another grain. However, quinoa, when prepared with attention, holds something precious, a gift for the aging body. Cooked quinoa provides 14 grams of complete protein per 100 grams, not just quantity, but quality. Unlike most plant foods, quinoa contains all 9 essential amino acids, those the body cannot manufacture on its own. That makes it a complete protein and, more importantly, a usable one. It is not just fuel, it is construction material for strength. What attracts me to quinoa, especially for those over 60, is its abundance in lysine. Lysine supports muscle repair, aids calcium absorption, and plays a role in collagen formation. These are the invisible frameworks of resilience, bones, tissues, and the quiet strength beneath the skin. A study published in Nutrients in 2022 found that seniors who consumed quinoa daily showed a 9% improvement in leg strength over just 8 weeks compared to others eating white rice. The change was not just in measurements, it was felt in steps taken, in stairs climbed without hesitation. To awaken quinoa's full potential, I soak it overnight. This softens its shell and washes away natural compounds like saponins, making its nutrients more accessible. Then I cook it slowly, not in haste, with bone broth or vegetable stock, infusing it with minerals and warmth. Spices like turmeric or black pepper bring an added layer of healing, reducing inflammation with every bite. Quinoa becomes more than food, it becomes ritual, a foundation for warm salads, stir-fries, or savory bowls with sautéed greens. 3/4 cup a day, that is all it takes. Strength does not demand large gestures, only consistency, a quiet return each day to what nourishes. Now we move forward. What comes next is small in form but immense in density, a seed that bodybuilders praise but elders often overlook. Let us not make that mistake. Number 7 is small in form but vast in power. Pumpkin seeds, also called pepitas, carry a quiet concentrated force that many overlook. At 19 grams of protein per 100 grams, they nearly double what eggs provide. However, it is not only the number that matters, it is the company that protein keeps. These seeds are among nature's richest sources of magnesium, iron, and zinc, 3 minerals that often fade silently from the aging body. After 60, this deficiency is common yet rarely discussed. Why should we care? Because strength is not built by protein alone. Magnesium governs the rhythm of muscle contraction and relaxation. Iron ensures that oxygen reaches every fiber of your muscle. Zinc supports regeneration, rebuilding what time and tension wear down. Without these elements, even the best protein becomes less effective, like tools without a craftsman's grip. There is more. A study in the Journal of Medicinal Food revealed that daily consumption of pumpkin seeds reduced muscle inflammation markers by up to 38% in older adults in just 12 weeks. This is not maintenance. This is reversal, a quiet fight against the slow inflammation that dissolves strength breath by breath, year by year. However, as always, simplicity matters. Choose raw, unsalted seeds. Let them remain close to their natural form. You may toss them gently over yogurt, blend them into smoothies, or grind them into a rich, protein-dense seed butter. Just a small hot tea, and full carries enough to nourish and support real recovery. I often remind my viewers, strength is not always loud. Sometimes it comes in the form of something small, easy to overlook, but impossible to replace. Now we continue. What comes next is often linked with bodybuilders, known for its dense protein. However, when approached with balance and intention, it becomes a remarkable ally for the aging body as well. Let us keep walking. Number 6 is often misunderstood, even dismissed. Yet for the aging body, it offers something rare, strength with ease. I'm speaking of tempeh made not from milk like tofu, but from whole fermented soybeans. It is solid, it is living, and it carries 20 grams of protein per 100 grams, surpassing the egg in pure density. However, numbers are only part of the story. The true gift of tempeh lies in how that protein is delivered. Fermentation transforms. It breaks down the barriers that make digestion difficult, especially in older systems. It unlocks nutrients long held dormant and brings to life a food both dense and gentle. Tempeh contains all 9 essential amino acids your body needs to rebuild and maintain muscle. Among them, leucine stands out. After 60, the body's response to protein begins to fade. Leucine helps awaken that response, reminding the muscles to repair, to grow, to endure. There is more. Tempeh is rich in probiotics, living bacteria that nourish the gut. And here lies a deeper truth. Many elders do not lose muscle because of low intake, but because the body can no longer absorb what it receives. A study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that seniors with greater gut diversity maintained 18% more lean muscle over a year than those without. Digestion is not just function, it is foundation. Tempeh offers both the raw materials and the internal environment needed to make use of them. To prepare it well, slice it thin, sear it gently with tamari or apple cider vinegar. No sugar, no heavy oils. It belongs in stir-fries, layered in sandwiches, tossed into salads. Wherever it goes, it nourishes deeply. And because it is fermented, every bite supports not just the muscles, but the balance within. Now we move forward into a new territory. What comes next is not even a traditional food. And yet it holds power that is beginning to redefine what nourishment means for seniors everywhere. Number 5 does not resemble food in the way we expect. It is deep green, almost blue. And to some, it looks more like algae from a quiet pond than nourishment. However, spirulina is one of the most potent concentrated sources of muscle-preserving power I have ever encountered. Per 100 grams, spirulina carries 29 grams of protein, nearly triple what an egg offers. However, the number alone is not the miracle. The true gift lies in how the body receives it. Spirulina's protein is almost 85% bioavailable. That means the muscles do not just encounter it, they absorb it, use it, transform it into strength. And because spirulina holds all 9 essential amino acids, including a remarkably high amount of leucine, it speaks the language your aging muscle fibers still understand. It tells them grow, repair, remain alive. There is another layer. Spirulina contains a compound called phycocyanin, rare and powerful. In a 2022 study published in Nutrients, it was shown to reduce C-reactive protein by 32%. C-reactive protein is a marker of inflammation, and in older adults, inflammation quietly erodes the body's ability to regenerate muscle. Spirulina does not just feed the body, it clears the path for healing to occur. It also increases nitric oxide, improving blood flow and helping nutrients reach muscle tissue faster, aiding repair. However, let us be clear, you need not take it in large spoonfuls. A single teaspoon consistently used is enough to support transformation. Blend it into a smoothie with fruit and a few walnuts. Stir it gently into warm oatmeal or mix it with dates and seeds to form small protein bites. Small actions, big outcomes. Spirulina reminds us healing does not need to be loud, only daily, only deliberate. Next, we turn towards something ancient, once familiar, now forgotten. It may hold the gentlest protein your body can absorb. Let us continue. Number 4 is often seen, rarely understood. You may have passed it on store shelves or noticed it scattered atop smoothie bowls. However, few pause long enough to realize that hemp seeds carry something remarkable. Completeness. At 35 grams of protein per 100 grams, they sit near the top of this exploration. However, it is not only about how much. They offer something more rare, all 9 essential amino acids in balanced proportion. These are the building blocks of strength, and hemp seeds provide them in a form the body can easily use. Even quinoa, often praised for its protein profile, does not match hemp's precision. And after the age of 60, when muscle begins to quietly decline, that balance becomes more than helpful. It becomes necessary. A 2021 review in Frontiers in Nutrition showed that older adults who consumed complete plant proteins like hemp experienced better muscle retention, quicker recovery after activity, and less fatigue related to aging. Strength was preserved not by force, but by completeness. However, hemp seeds do more than build muscle. They support the whole system. Rich in omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids including GLA, they help reduce joint inflammation, sharpen mental clarity, and protect the heart. A quiet triad of support for the aging body. Their preparation is simple. Do not cook them directly. Their oils are fragile, easily harmed by heat. Instead, stir a spoonful into oatmeal, blend them into smoothies, or sprinkle them over roasted vegetables just after cooking. As they warm, their nutty aroma opens, inviting both nourishment and satisfaction. What I admire most is how easily they digest. Unlike many seeds, hemp asks little of the stomach. It gives without burden. For those seeking a food that requires no complexity, no preparation, no adjustment, but delivers strength in its most generous form, hemp seeds are waiting, often overlooked, but never lacking. Let us continue. What comes next is ancient, dense, and surprisingly similar in texture to meat, yet it holds a different kind of power. Quiet, plant-based, and deeply restorative. Let us look closer. Number 3 may surprise you. It is not a supplement, it is not synthetic. And yet, this plant-based food contains more protein per bite than nearly any meat you have ever eaten. Most have never heard its name, but its power is undeniable. Seitan, sometimes called wheat meat, is made from vital wheat gluten, the main protein found in wheat. Once the starch and fiber are removed, what remains is a near pure protein structure. In every 100 grams, it offers 39 grams of protein that rivals the densest cuts of animal meat without the burden of saturated fat, heavy digestion, or inflammatory effects that often come with aging. What makes seitan particularly meaningful for older adults is its digestibility. As the body ages, enzyme production and gut resilience often decline. Seitan, being low in fiber and fat, places little strain on digestion. It is absorbed quickly, used efficiently. In a 2022 study published in Clinical Nutrition, seniors who consumed plant-based protein isolates like seitan retained 21% more lean muscle mass than those on mixed diets. It is not just theory. It is results rooted in practice. Even more, seitan is extremely low in carbohydrates and virtually fat-free. For those managing diabetes, high cholesterol, or excess weight, it becomes a silent ally. Support. Versatile and clean. However, seitan's value is not only nutritional, it carries texture, firm, chewy, deeply satisfying. For those transitioning away from meat, it can ease the path. Sliced into stir-fries, seared with garlic, grilled as steak strips, or roasted like barbecue, it adapts without compromise. For optimal nourishment, pair it with iron-rich vegetables such as kale or any produce rich in vitamin C. The small amount of non-heme iron in seitan becomes more absorbable when accompanied by vitamin C. Often ignored, this food sits quietly on plant-based shelves. Yet, its potential to preserve strength after 60 is profound. And if this surprised you, prepare yourself. What comes next is aged for more than a year, melts on the tongue, and supports muscle health with absorption rates 30% higher than meat itself. Let us continue. Number 2 may not look like much. It is often grated without pause, sprinkled as garnish, or forgotten in the back of the refrigerator. However, what rests quietly inside that aged block is one of the most concentrated sources of usable protein on Earth. I'm speaking of real Parmesan cheese. Authentic Parmigiano Reggiano from Italy, not the powdered kind in a plastic container, but the hard, grainy wedge aged for months, sometimes years. In every 100 grams, it offers 42 grams of protein. That is more than eggs, more than most cuts of meat, more than twice what you will find in milk or cottage cheese. However, its true value lies beyond the number because it is aged between 12 to 36 months. The proteins inside break down into free-form amino acids. These are already available to your body, requiring almost no digestive effort. This is vital after the age of 60, when enzyme production slows and absorption becomes less efficient. A 2019 study published in Nutrients found that seniors absorb the amino acids in aged cheese nearly 30% more efficiently than from meat. With less burden on digestion, more strength can be built, more recovery supported. Parmesan is also rich in leucine, the amino acid that signals muscle protein synthesis. Most older adults fall short of the leucine threshold needed to prevent sarcopenia, the gradual loss of muscle mass, yet just 30 grams of Parmesan offers over 1.5 grams of leucine, enough to activate growth. Use it wisely. Shave it fresh over warm vegetables, stir it into omelets, or let it melt gently over whole grains. Heat awakens its aroma, its flavor, both of which can stimulate appetite, especially in those who struggle to feel hunger. However, remember, its strength is concentrated. A few tablespoons are enough. In this simple food, aged by time and touched by patience, we find something profound. Power made gentle. Now we arrive at number 1, the most protein-dense food on this journey. Rare, efficient, and remarkably easy to absorb. and unlike anything you might expect. Let us go further. We have now arrived at number 1, the quiet peak of this journey. You will not find it in colorful packaging or listed in the latest wellness trends. And yet, this humble form may hold the most efficient source of protein known to us. It is dried fish powder, not exotic, not engineered, but made from lean, dehydrated white fish like cod or pollock. When the water is removed, what remains is nearly pure protein. And the number speaks clearly. 63 grams of protein per 100 grams. That is nearly twice the protein of eggs, more than chicken breast, more than most powders sold as supplements. However, what makes dried fish powder truly remarkable is not just quantity. It is speed. This protein is highly bioavailable. That means the body absorbs it quickly, delivering fuel directly to the muscles for repair and renewal. In a 2020 clinical trial published in Clinical Nutrition, seniors who consumed dried cod powder daily increased their lean muscle mass by 19% in just 10 weeks with no added exercise. That is the potential of precision. Its strength comes from its dense concentration of essential amino acids, especially leucine. This amino acid acts as a signal for growth. Most older adults do not get enough from meals alone. Just 25 grams of this powder offers more than 3 grams of leucine, surpassing the threshold needed to activate muscle synthesis. How is it used? Simply, it does not require chewing. You can stir it into soups, blend it into stews, sprinkle it over mashed vegetables, or fold it into savory oatmeal. It is shelf-stable, portable, and accessible, ideal for those with difficulty chewing or swallowing. However, not all powders are equal. Choose food-grade, high-quality options, free from added salts or flavorings. Because this is not just a food, it is a tool, a quiet ally for strength, a clinical companion for recovery. And so we return to where we began, not with promises, but with presence, with real food taken with care, used with intention. Your strength remains within reach, one mindful choice at a time. Among the many foods available to us, this one, dried fish powder, may be the most overlooked in senior nutrition, yet the numbers speak for themselves. Quietly, they tell a story of transformation, and so the path becomes clear. 10 real foods, each more powerful than eggs, in their ability to protect and restore muscle. 10 choices rooted not in hype, but in evidence, backed by science, aligned with nature, proven to slow and even reverse the slow loss of strength that often begins unnoticed after age 60. You may not feel it at first, a small hesitation, a little weakness in the legs, but over time, without intention. And the body loses nearly 1% of its muscle mass each year. And for many, it is only when balance is lost, when a fall comes, that the decline is finally seen. However, this decline is not inevitable. The body is not giving up. It is waiting for the right signals, not from pills, not from synthetic powders, but from real food. Whole, nutrient-dense, digestible food, rich in proteins, the body can recognize, absorb, and turn into strength. Today, you have seen what is possible. The number 1 food we explored delivers nearly 3 times the protein of an egg. And in clinical trials, it helped rebuild muscle by nearly 20% without any changes in exercise. Quiet food, quiet power. This is not information most supplement companies want you to know. However, now you do, so do not wait. Let your next meal become your message to your body that you are still here, still rebuilding, still choosing strength. Begin with just one of these foods, then another. Watch how your body responds, how energy returns, how stability follows. Your muscles are listening. Now it is your turn to nourish them. And if this journey has brought clarity, I welcome you to return. Ask your questions, share your thoughts. We continue together, quietly stronger.